So all the hype around Flux AI tools and Flux image generator, it's a pretty big deal because a lot of platforms use Flux in their platforms, such as Grok, for example. X's AI, they use Flux. But Flux is also used in a number of other platforms too. I run across it all the time. Maybe you do too. Now, Flux has a number of different models we can use, and we're going to start off with a model with yellow gloves and armor with a Grok flying next to her. Now, we're using yellow gloves because we like to play with the hands, see what happens there. Armor, which is unique to a model, I guess, and a Grok. What's a Grok? Well, that is where we're challenging the AI. It's giving it something to consider as it relates to the model as it's flying next to her. It could be a number of different things. As many of you have seen, I've used a version of this for Grokette, which I created in Midjourney. We'll start off right here with Flux Schnell, Flux 1 Schnell. See what happens. We're going to try a number of these and see what we get. Here we go. All right, so there is the model with yellow armor, and it's kind of painterly. And there's the Grok. It took it as a bird, and it's stuck with kind of with the yellow theme, and it's very illustrative. This is an earlier type model, something you might find even with DALL-E 3. Let's try it again with Flux 1.1 Pro. Here we go. Took a little longer. Oh, still a little more realistic. Interesting. Has that anime look to it. Kind of a very Japanese style overall with the creature here. And that's the Grok. It's almost cat-like with wings, but flying next to her. Very interesting. Let's move on. Flux 1 Pro. Let's just see. It may be an earlier version, I would assume, compared to 1.1. But let's see what happens. I love the success. Oh, okay. Well, Flux 1. Okay, this is interesting. Now, the Grok is much more in line, I guess, with where I think we were going with this. So, still kind of a animation, highly illustrated kind of a. But there's some realistic elements in the armor. So, it's very futuristic. The Grok, I think the Grok is much more in line. So, that's interesting. Let's move on. So Flux 1.1 Pro Ultra Landscape. We'll do landscape. Obviously, you can do portrait here, but we'll do landscape and see what happens. And then after this, go through some of the options and compare it to some of the other platforms. Oh, wow. Okay, so here we go. This is very a lot of interpretation. If you see what I've done in the past with models, usually I say a model walking through a city. The Grok is just a big, enormous thing, and the model, yeah, I'm not sure. I think that the AI took a lot of liberties with this one. Now, as always, with your prompts, there is an opportunity for interpretation. And so here it did. It took a lot of liberties. And again, the AI can't read your mind. So if you see something, it's helpful to save that prompt or expand that prompt to give it more detail. Or what you can often do is take the image, such as this one, or even this, such as this one, and move it over and now let it be your foundational image with some additional prompting to help maybe modify the direction you want to go. Let's go through some of what Flux AI offers you. You have an image history right here, which is really nice. And you can go through back and forth if you have a lot of images. You can view the details of that image. You can see the prompt, what you've used, all the information as it relates to that image that you may need if you want to make additional decisions down the road, maybe the next day. It's all available to you. You can download your image in multiple formats. JPEG is quite often, or PNG is what I will often use. Prompt, you can see your prompt there. You can copy that prompt, and then you can optimize your prompt up here. Let's see what Flux AI would do by optimizing this prompt, and then see what the Pro Ultra would do with that prompt. Here we are. I'm going to go slowly, and feel free to pause to read. A lot of adjectives to develop within this prompt. Let's see what Pro Ultra would give us. Here we go. Oh, wow. Very interesting. I like that. I like that a lot. What if I put photorealistic? Just to see what happens. We'll generate one more, and then we'll go on with the basic prompt. Okay, very nice. It's still about the same type of illustrative look, but nice. It went back to 1:1 square, which is fine, which is good for social media. You can always go by 9:16 for social media also, and 9:21. All right, let's try our prompt with other platforms. Well, I think the obvious starting point is, Grok. So, model with yellow gloves and armor with a Grok flying next to her. There we go. With Xgrok, you need to actually mention that it's a photo or illustration or something like it. So as you can see, these are more photorealistic. This one I think works very well. Here's kind of almost like Grokette, a very, very small version of Grokette. That's great. I like this. That's more of a robot. That's a flying dog with long ears, and that's another robot. I think this one works out pretty well. What do you think? Let's move over to DALL-E. So DALL-E 3. Here we go. Let's see what we get. All right, we're going to say photo of. Kind of like we had to do with Grok. Of course, it comes back asking, what does a Grok look like? And I guess that's a fair question. It said that up here too. I'm going to say you decide what a Grok looks like, which I think is a good way to go because obviously we left that up in the air. We're challenging the AI, but for it to come back, that's a fair question. So yes, create it. You decide what a Grok looks like based on the prompt. Ah, interesting. So this is the interpretation from DALL-E. Again, as I often mention, very illustrative, photo illustrative in the style. Let's head on over to Midjourney. Based on my experience, Midjourney just goes to it. There we are. Working on it. 4 very different styles. And some of them didn't even come close. Here's a model. That may be yellow gloves. Yes, that's kind of a gameplay situation. This one I think is pretty good, except we don't see the yellow gloves. Let's expand this one with some strong variations. So we got some variations in the Grok, but it really interpreted as a gold versus yellow armor, and we don't see the gloves. Of course, we never did say yellow armor. A lot of them did create yellow armor, but that's not what we were necessarily going for. We were going for the yellow gloves. So, interesting. What's next? We're over at Luma Labs Dream Machine. Let's see what they offer us. Oh, nice. I like that one. So far, I think this is my favorite. I mean, Grok is not like our Grokette, but again, it's a flying little creature. More what I have. I tend to think of more of like of a green flying creature, but this adds to the imagination beyond my expectations. So Luma Labs so far has my vote. Let's try a couple more. I would love to compare Runway, but their image generator is $76 a month. Kling AI is one of my favorite video generators, and they have colors 1.0 and 1.5. We'll use their newer version and test it out. All right, we have some nice armor with the model, and Kling interpreted the subject as a bird every single time, which I can see happening, but I'm not as impressed overall. Although I like the realism, I'm not impressed overall with the imagination. So let's see what Google has to say about it with their Image FX. Now we do have a number of options, but again, we're just going to let the AI do its thing. All right. Oh, well, here we are, and I'm not sure what to say. I'm thinking there's some copyright issues going on here, and they're very illustrative. I wonder what. Let's do what we did with the other one with Grok, and let's put photorealistic and see if it can do that. All right, that's a little bit better, but once again, copyright issues galore. I think this is very nice. I like these images. I'm just not going to go there. I think we know that the training data is not copyright safe. Let's put it that way. But speaking of copyright safe, let's head on over to Adobe Firefly, where no matter what you create is most likely copyright safe because they don't train on copyrighted data, which obviously Google does. So we have Firefly Image 2 and Firefly Image 3. Let's go with Image 3. There's our prompt. It will not create this. Let's try this. Okay, no, it will not do it. Okay, well, then we probably, because it's a person maybe? I don't know. Let's take out this. No, we will not. I've run into this before with Adobe. Let's move on. If we head over to Korea, I believe I'm pronouncing that correct, probably not, we notice that once again we've come full circle and we're back to Flux, another one of the many platforms that uses Flux. So let's end it with this. Let's see what this version creates. Well, one thing I'll say is that was probably the fastest variation of all of them, but they don't have a Grok flying next to her, and I'm not sure which version they are using. Let's retry just to see what happens. Let's remove the model. Let's remove the photo up. I copy and pasted that from Grok, and we just got that. So here we go. Wow. This is a really fast approach. Again, very photo illustrative. The variations of Grok. So which one did you like best? I think I told you which one I liked. I thought Luma Labs did a great job. That's my winner. Which one's yours? Put it in the comments below. And of course, if you want to talk more AI, catch us every Monday on YouTube or your favorite podcast location where we are two creative guys talking AI.